And hello and good morning, friends. And we began day number 4 here in Door County, Wisconsin.
This is kind of that first look at a swale. So you'll notice that it is trees on either side and there are no trees in the middle. And so we kind of call it like a little corridor. And so you'll notice that there are wetland plants. These are cattails. Unfortunately, they're invasive cattails. They're the narrow-leaf cattail. But it is a wetland habitat. And you can hear a frog.
Yeah. Is that what that is?
Yeah, I was like, what is that? Because I heard it yesterday.
Yeah. I'm Amy, by the way.
I'm Ben.
Yes. If you have anything you want to ask, feel free to jump in. So as you look, you'll see that all of these trees are conifers and they're not hardwoods. They're not softwoods, they're not those deciduous that are going to lose their leaves. So we've got cedars, some pines, so we'll keep seeing that as we're walking along.
Wow, it is so gorgeous back here.
So for instance, this is not normally running quite this heavily at this time of year. So, I talked about the ridges and the swales and how they're wetlands. This is not a swale. Ridges and swales aren't moving bodies of water. This was created by a farmer. So, in the 1800s, we had a lot of logging happening up in Hill County. And what that entailed was pretty much clear cutting everything and shipping it out. So that's why we're called news for folks to come to and get all of that logging done and then load up the ships and bring it back to Chicago, Milwaukee. And so, once all the trees were gone, people had to figure out things to do. And so there was a farmer who owned this land and he had cattle here. Well, in the spring, the swales get really full. He didn't like his cattle just standing in water. And so he dug a trench and it goes all the way down to the lake. And so now we have this creek. So this is Killeen Brook. And so this is man-made. But it's actually not a bad thing. So I talked about that Heinz Emerald dragonfly. And it uses this creek, and we have the largest population of them here at the ridges, and they're endangered, and they actually were thought to be extinct before somebody came up here and saw them. And so they actually use this fresh running water because we have crawfish in the water. And they dig burrows, and they make their little towers, and the dragonfly larvae overwinter in those burrows. So, let's see if I can get it. People always have questions about the flagging. This is for, we have some homeschoolers who come and do programs here, and so this is one of their areas that they get their lessons taught in. And so they get to go off trail, but just in the marked areas. So it's a really great way for them to have hands-on outdoor education in place to really learn and explore about science and nature.
Well, that's pretty cool. I was just about to ask that question.
Yeah, everybody sees the flagging and is curious.
In some forests, you know how they cut out trees so that young trees get more light and all that kind of stuff? Do they do any of that like here?
Nope. Again, we don't manage it. Well, we manage it, we don't micromanage it. but as long as it's not posing a risk to people, we won't take it down. Because those down trees are, it's good to have forests do their own thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that fully answered your question.
We kind of let nature be nature.
Yes, yeah. And kind of the interesting thing with Door County is that we have so little topsoil that trees come down pretty readily if we have a strong enough wind in the wrong direction. Some areas, you're lucky if you have a foot of soil. So, really just depends.
Now, how long does it take for these trees to grow?
Well, this was all clear cut in the 1800s, so
Wow, it takes that long.
for some of them, I'm not exactly sure. Some of them are slower growers. Cedars tend to be slower growers. So another plant that I mentioned that we have endangered plants, and unfortunately they're not blooming right now, but these little kind of pointy straight leaves that look like grass, they are dwarf lake iris.
Ah.
When did they bloom?
They were done blooming at the end of May.
Oh,
Yes.
that's gorgeous.
They're very, very pretty. We have, I'm trying to see, those are primrose, I believe. We also have blue flag iris, which are like a taller version of the dwarf lake iris. But these are a federally endangered plant, and so we do research on them as well.
Do you use any like invasive plants? You know, like down in our area, we have a lot of parsnip. I know you don't see.
Yeah. So right there is where we used to have a yellow lady slipper. So that one with the wide leaves. And so what happens with our orchids is a lot of times they'll get pollinated and then they're like, and I'm done. And they shrivel up. So this is another one of our study plots, and you see those white machines, and those are actually called hobos, and they monitor weather conditions, soil conditions, light, amount of water, humidity, moisture in the soil, just all kinds of good stuff, just so we can see what the plants are liking.
So, by the way, do you know how expensive those things are?
Very is my answer. I am not sure how much, but very. And there's another one of those blue flag irises.
Blue flag iris. I see two of them.
Oh, there's a
Yeah.
bunch. So
1, 2,
study
3,
all these different
4.
plants. You feel like you're picking.
Look at the pink flower. There are some over here too, but it's a really fun plant.
So do they eat the dragonflies? Do they get caught down in there or not so much?
No, the dragonflies wouldn't get caught down there. It's mostly like flies, mosquitoes,
Bees.
gnats, bees, some bees, yeah.
Kind of nuisance things then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're one of the things that eats it, which is kind of fun. That's a wood lily.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
A
type-
wood lily.
Wood
So that bright
lily.
orange one is a wood lily.
How cool.
They're very pretty. But yeah, like early spring, you get those spring ephemerals, those bright. I don't know. That's why I kept walking past. It's pretty, but I don't know what it is.
What are those?
I think she said those were catnip.
They're cattails. Yeah.
Cattails.
So those are narrow-leaf cattails, and they're actually non-native. So we do try to manage for invasives. Some of them, like cattails, it's really hard to manage for those. It's hard hard to manage the native.
They got them cattails. Wow. Those cattails, they look so cool.
Have lived upstairs in the bedroom and use this as an office, which is why we have it style 10 office. The entire house is renovated and restyled to look like the time period that Henry and Eve were here, because out of all of our lighthouse keepers, they were here the longest, right? And so we have a lot of history on Henry and Eve. Okay? So I mentioned that Henry met Eve in Bailey's Harbor. They got married here, if you'll see on this like log. You can see Henry made sure to note their wedding date in his daily log that he had to keep as a lighthouse keeper. All lighthouse keepers had to keep logs, right? They had to make sure that they noted the day's weather and any other unusual events that occurred in the lighthouse. I wouldn't call a wedding unusual, but here we are.
Oh yeah. It would be so cool living here.
Think?
Yeah. Just being able to have this view every day.
Oh, this is a cool light.
Oh, me too. Obviously not in use anymore, but
Yeah.
there's the highlight. Get some
I guess if
reactions.
you gotta go, right?
That's new meaning for togetherness.
God. My God, man. I put on so much bug spray. And now the bugs starting
So
to...
bugs getting you?
Yeah. I don't know. It must be tasty to them.
Well, that's good. They'll stick with you and leave us alone.
Yes, when it's rainy, yeah.
Did all that camping and you don't even like it?
Oh, fine. Yeah, I got that.
Question, what trail are we on?
We are on Winter Ren, I believe.
Winter.
Because y'all call them fish. Yeah. Just need to get away from it.
Work. Yes. Good place for that.
I know this might sound random, but do mosquitoes in that die when they come in contact with bug spray?
It depends on what type of bug spray you're using and if you are spraying yourself versus spraying the mosquito or gnat. Typically it's just kind of a deterrent. Like if you smell something bad, you don't want to go towards it like a skunk.
Yeah.
So it acts more as a deterrent. But depending on what you're using, if you're spraying them, it might help. Down naturally here. So all these little ones just shot up. And so that's why we have this big patch of smaller trees compared to the larger trees over. Because we have, if you look up, a huge area of the canopy, which is that treetop area, opened up.
Wow.
And so that'll happen naturally in a forest. So this is really good because it promotes different ages of
Yeah.
the trees. And it's a healthy ecosystem that way.
Now, my understanding is the woodpeckers only go after dead trees, and I see a lot of trees with woodpeckers. So, do you have a lot of older dead trees in here?
They can go after live trees.
Oh, do they? I thought they were
yeah.
mostly after dead. Okay.
So, trees are complicated. Trees are kind of weird. Trees can be dying and living at the same time.
to Mount Maple. What's that way? I don't know which way that was. Got Mets in the pirate spot again.
Smells like the smell of lumber, yeah.
Okay. We're going to be taking a big step up and over.
Hey, why are all these things down?
So this is where we're building that new boardwalk.
Oh, cool. It's actually really cool. How many years did it take to build one?
Wow.
Wow, that was a big step. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, that felt really good.
Yeah, this is a good area to take a seat if you need to take a seat. And there is a Heinz Emerald Dragonfly right there.
Oh, yeah. Where is it? Right here. Oh, you can't miss them. They're big.
Yeah, I just got to that live.
So you'll see the bright green.
So we are on a boardwalk that is being built right now. It sounds crazy, but that is true. I did not know there was a trail connected.
We have entered out onto one of our newer swales. What do you guys notice that's different about it so far? Yeah. You're on sand.
Oh, yeah.
And so it hasn't had time yet to develop into that forest. And so there's still sand. We're still seeing kind of sand-loving, shrubby plants. These are actually junipers. Anybody know what juniper berries make?
One.
Gin.
Yeah.
Yep, juniper berries make gin. Somebody in every tour always knows that. But we have these kind of.
I'm not sure.
No, usually they're like gin, so you can tell that they're really confident gin drinkers. But we have these kind of shrubby plants, and they start the kind of succession in the forest, which is the changeover. So, you know, you can see as we go further, you're seeing these bigger trees, and it's just changing, and so it changes over time. This is, I think this swale is around like 200 years old, something like that, and so we can see that change over time. Kind of the fun thing with junipers is that they have girl plants and boy plants. So on this side, they're the boy plants, and on this side, they're the girl plants.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
And
so
can they not live together?
They can. It just happens to be that the boy ones are on this side on this trail and the girls are on this side. The girls have.
Fun, and I can never get those things to grow.
Yeah. They don't like clay. I do know that. They can tolerate the sand. They just don't need super like. They're pretty. Pine trees are pretty able to adapt. They obviously need more dirt than sand. There is dirt mixed in with this over time, if that answers that. They can tolerate the sand. They don't love it. They don't hate it. More of this short lake iris all throughout Europe. I know it's endangered, and it is. We just have a lot of it here, which is really wonderful. So as you're looking through here, this is all dwarf iris, which is really cool.
That's more iris. Iris.
You can see that these are the female junipers. They have the berries.
What's that orange plant called again?
Wood lily.
Wood lily. Thank you. Wood lily. Easy to remember. Ah. I think I've been on this trail. Well, this is why they call it the Sandy Trail. So we're about out on this sandy trail. This is one of the many widgets. Keep walking in sand. At least none of us got into my shoe. That's a big part. Try and walk as slow as I can. And I'm trying not to get any sand in my shoes.
See, some of the trees really don't tolerate it. But kind of a fun thing that pine trees do, and you can kind of see it really well on this one, each layer of branches is a year of growth.
Oh.
So pine trees kind of grow around in a circle, and so you can see that they have a layer. Some of them might snap off, obviously, but that's kind of a cool thing that you can tell with younger pine trees. It's a little easier. They've lost less branches.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an easy way to remember it. And then red pines have bunches of two. So they're kind of the big ones that we can down at the beaches. Sounds like you're not we have a wide open. So enjoy.
Alright, so let's be back out to the boardwalk. And back to the nature center.
So we talked right there.
Oh, there's the rebel.
Okay, guys, I've never been back here. It'd be nice if we can find like any type of seagrass. I found a couple so far during the trip. I don't like my trees. So what gives? Looks like an orange lily. But I don't think that is. What is it? I have no clue. Know what an orange lily now looks like. Oh my god.
And stuff. And there used to be more of them, and then 2020 happened with the water being really high, and it whoop, right over. So this one is blooming and just kind of finishing up that bloom, which is really exciting. So it is a thistle, but it's just a cool thistle.
So most people don't think this is a good.
I know, exactly. I always thought they were weed family. You want to get rid of them.
So here is a good thing. This is its ecosystem. This is its habitat. It actually helps hold the sand in place.
is so nice over here. Oh, we're off center. You're right in the middle.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, I like her. They're alewives. And alewives are an invasive fish that has been introduced into the Great Lakes, unfortunately. And so what happens is they die offshore, and then their little bodies just get flung onto the shore. So it's kind of it's dying down right now. They usually have a lot more.
Oh, what? Look what they have. Yeah, like, a police thing.
Yeah.
Not surprised. But I'm guessing they only are out when it's like the 4th of July and they make sure people are not drunk. Probably.
Nick, I'm sure that has something to do with it, or like people who just need to be rescued.
Probably. That way, that looks dangerous.
A whole bunch of space behind you.
Let us know when you're ready.
I just like keep looking this water. There are fish. What are you looking at?
I was looking at their meats.
$8.99.
That's weird.
$3.26 a gallon. It's not too terrible.
No, I'm just to fill up there on our way out of town.
Tomorrow or Thursday?
Yeah, I might just do it tomorrow, just so it's done.
Look at that. Look at that. Orange. That is an orange freaking cloud, yo. That's orange. Okay, so right here we have a Wagyu steak burger. And to be honest, when I was eating that, I couldn't really taste the Wagyu. I really didn't taste much of a difference. The fries, they are awesome. So would I get this again? I would say no, just due to the fact that I know I could get a cheaper burger that would probably taste around the same. Oh look, there's the rainbow over here. It's very faded.